Those of you who've done workouts at home have taught yourself a lesson that's so valuable. You need to understand it. You need to understand it right now. So I'm going to teach you while eating my morning slot bowl, potato bowl, tuna bowl with a teaspoon again. Back at it again. You know the fucking drill. Teaspoon, takes longer to eat, more satiated, full. Couple of potatoes, banging, but fuck. You need to understand this. I used to do home workouts at home when I was 14 when I first started the gym, and I taught myself a lesson that was super, super fucking valuable. I think it's funny looking back at this period because I used to get like pillows. So you know, like pillows like these. I would get like my bed head pillows. I would stack like 2, 3, 4 in a stack, and then I would do incline press on these stack of pillows, which would make no sense because they just crumble and you go back to being flat anyway. And I taught myself a really big lesson while doing that, and it's that the easier it is for you to go and work out, the less barriers you've got in the way, the more likely you are to be consistent. This is more for the people who are literally just starting. If you've been going to the gym for a year or two and you feel quite happy with your consistency and you're really good, maybe you don't even have to watch this video, it might not be that valuable. But for this, it's more of the, maybe you will find it valuable because I just told you that eating with a smaller spoon is more satiating, like you might learn something as well. So I'd stick around personally. I'm not biased whatsoever. But what I will say is for the new beginners, or you're struggling to be consistent, or you've been consistent for a bit and now you can't get back into it, make it as easy on yourself as possible. I contribute like the largest factor of me going to the gym in the first place when I was 14, due to the fact that it was literally on my bedroom floor. Like it was literally there. There was dumbbells by my desk. So if I was ever playing foot champs, raging, then I got motivated for, I want to train, I need to foot champs, it's shit anyway, like fuck it, I'm doing nothing with my life, I need to go lift. I had dumbbells right there and I could take action straight away. A lot of the time you get that initial motivation to do something, to lift, to eat the good food, to, track like the amount of water that you're having or whatever the fucking goal is, right, due to hypertrophy. And there's so much friction in the way that like after 30 seconds the fire's gone and then you're like, you're not going to do the task. And it was that one bit, that one little task, if you did that, would have carried your momentum so far forward, you would have got positive feedback from the experience and you would have just kept on doing the habit. That was what it was like for me. One day I don't even remember the reason. I don't know, but I think it was to do with like, I was speaking to this girl when I was like 14 and like I was snapping her all the time and then she was like, yeah, what? Like we're kind of just friends. Or I think she spoke to another lad in my year or something and I was like, nah, fuck this. I'm getting fucking wham now. Like average starting journey of a teenager that gets into fucking lifting. Like fucking average story. But it was true. That's exactly what happened, I think. And I got really angry and then started training. But the fact that I got really angry at seeing that on my phone and then I could just instantly just take that energy out on lifting. Then I had a really good session. It felt great. I felt productive for like the first time in my life. And then that positive feedback then led me to take it seriously. If I'd never had that like limit of friction, the lack of barriers in the way to doing that task, then I would have never lifted first. I would have never got the positive feedback. I probably would have overlooked lifting if people asked me to. And I might not have been jacked. Jacked is obviously an arbitrary term, but I think I've got a fucking sick physique at 19, So maybe I would have never got to this point tracking all my calories and eating really clean and looking sick if I didn't have that outlet for the energy that I experienced from a shit situation. And the only way I had that outlet was from the lack of barriers that it took me. The fact that it was at home, the dumbbells were right there, already in my room. Like, it was so easy to do. And that's what home workouts taught me. And that's obviously built on my consistency then through it being easy. Fuck. Just dropped my letters. But then the question is, right, you could do it once. That's not really consistency, is it? And to that I would say, well, no. All consistency is doing it once over and over and over again. So you kind of just have to repeat the same process. Maybe not with the relying on the external factor of some shit happening so you get motivated. But in terms of, right, when you decide you're going to work out and you're going to train, you're going to build muscle, like I hope a lot of you are, and you're still struggling with consistency, make it as easy to make the decision as possible. So another thing that I've been weighing up recently is there's a gym that's like 25 minutes, half an hour away from where I live. and I go to a gym that's like 5 minutes away. But the gym that's 25 minutes away is like a bodybuilding gym. It's like people record in there and it's sick, and I'm debating like, oh, that could be good for content or whatever. But then I thought, well, the gym that I go to, the Pure Gym, fucking Pure Gym, Goislop, fucking NPC, Netanyahu Pure Gym, where everyone's an idiot, and it's packed from between like 10 a.m. to like 7 p.m. That Pure Gym that I go to, yeah, it's a worse gym. Yeah, there's fucking NPCs in there. Yeah, there's unks telling you that, you know, you inject steroids into your legs and shit. That's what happened to me. Yeah, there's unks telling you that they're 9% body fat when they're like 20% and just taking the piss. Not taking the piss, but judging you for your training. Yeah, there's that. And yeah, no one like really understands how to lift properly, and people look at you weird for doing science-based stuff, which they actually don't, to be fair, but I don't know, that could happen to some of you. Yeah, there's that, but it's 5 minutes away. It's like so easy to go to the gym. Like when I'm in a rush for work, or, you know, when I'm busy doing shit and I still need to fit a gym session in, the fact that it's 5 minutes away allows me to do that every single time. When it's 25 minutes away, it's just another barrier, another little bit of friction that I'll be like, oh, you haven't got time. Even though I probably do, and I'm just saying that to, you know, cope and then not go, you know? That's the biggest one for me. Like, oh, you don't have time. And it's like, you always have time when you say that. Like 99% of the time when you say you don't have time, you do. And even if you don't have all the time in the world, like say your session takes an hour 15, even if you don't have an hour 15, you've only got 45 minutes, just go for 45 and see what you can do. That's always going to be better than just skipping it as a whole and doom scrolling, right? That was the biggest quote for me. Like, I just said I didn't have time. So the fact that it's 5 minutes away now, or when it was at home, I would never use that excuse because it's literally right there. This excuse came back not when I changed gym, but when my car broke down. My car broke down. I literally was turning around the corner of the street, and it was just like dun 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 dun, and it was starting like jumping down the road. So I turned around. I was looking around the corner, so I barely made it home. And I was like, oh, I'm fucking cooked. Check engine oil light warning. I'm just like, for fuck's sake, check the engine oil. It's like done in there. Wet belt's gone. Don't buy an EcoBoost. Eco Boom happened to me twice now. So that happened to me again for the fucking second time. For the second time my car broke. I've had 3 cars in a year. And anyway, when I had to then start walking to the gym, it was the same excuse coming up. The gym hadn't changed, nothing had changed, the routine hadn't changed. Nothing had changed, just the fact that it took me longer to get there. And instantly more excuses, instantly started skipping more. So if you have ever worked out at home, you may have stumbled on a gold mine of the fact that it's so easy to do, you'll stay consistent. Now, obviously, I would always recommend just pick a gym close to you. It's always going to be better because better equipment, you could do better, more like science-based lifts. You can train a lot harder. You can obviously do hypertrophy better. And if you can get to the point where you can get to that gym close all the time, then you're in like the perfect position. That's where I am now. I've got a gym that's got everything I ever need, all the cardio machines I need, all the weights I ever need to train really effectively. And then it's like 5 minutes away, so it's really easy. When you work at home, you limit what you can do and how much hypertrophy you can have because of the lack of exercise selection that you've got. I'm slowly sinking into this fucking chair. So yeah, what I would say is try and pick a gym that's the closest to you and get consistent at that. But that was my point of this whole video. You need to make the barriers less, the friction less. What ways can you make the barrier or friction less in any realm of hypertrophy? So we talked about, listen to this crack, by the way. Always tap the top before you open the can. Woo! Slurp. We've talked about how you can lower the barrier of friction to getting into the gym by making it close to you, but what other ways can you do it? With your diet, can you leave your scale out by the chopping board? That's what I personally do. Leave my scale out by the chopping board so there's less friction to finding the scale to weigh my food. Can you eat the same foods every day so you already know what you're eating, so there's less friction in deciding what to eat? Minusing this decision fatigue and these barriers are really what helps you to be consistent, especially in the things that are more vague and harder to be consistent with. Like diet, being consistent in diet is really vague because you can eat so much stuff. So it's hard to actually know how to do it. So leaving your scale out is one, knowing what to eat, eating the same foods every day is another. In the gym, it's like, yeah, go gym. Like, but no one ever goes further than that, you know? And then we've also got, I'm gonna actually eat this because I'm getting fucking cold. What else have we got? Weigh in body weight. I would always weigh my body weight when I keep the scale right under my sink. So when I go to brush my teeth, I literally have to step on the scale. That's a really good way that you can do that. I always struggle with like drinking enough water because I just drink these like all the time. So a way that I started drinking more water was my mum would buy the 500 milliliter like bottles, plastic bottles of water. And oh my God, plastic reduces your testosterone. I know. But like, I'll go into a different season when I'm prioritizing my testosterone. Right now I'm not, so I'm not really fussed. And I would just make it a goal to like drink like 4 or 5 of those a day. And I would knock them down bottle by bottle. And for some reason, the fact that it was in like a quantity that I could like see progression in. So the fact that I could see that, yeah, 1 bottle down, 4 bottles to go, rather than just the elusive thing of drinking 2 to 3 liters a day. The fact that I could see the progress made it easier to be consistent, if that makes sense. So that's another thing. What else could you do it for? Think about the areas in your life that you're struggling with that would lead you to better hypertrophy. Is it your diet? Is it your sleep? How could you make sleep more consistent? Go to sleep at the same time. What barriers have you got to sleep? Social media use. That's a barrier to sleep because you're always scrolling, so then you're stopping it. How can you make it easier to do that? Remove social media use. Have an alarm. You're so forgetful. I know this because I'm the same. You're so forgetful of what to do. Have an alarm to then start your nighttime routine. And as you get into the same time all the time, again, you'll build that momentum and that consistency. What's another barrier that you've got that affects your hypertrophy? I'll try and give you one more before I end out. Cardio. Let's think of cardio, right? Because that's the only one we haven't talked about. We talk about sleep, diet, exercise, cardio. A barrier to cardio might be that it's so far away. You're relying on going to the gym and hitting the treadmill for cardio, but it's like a 10-minute drive. How could you make cardio easier? I've got a beach about 30 seconds away, walk from this house. Great weather. I could just go walk there. The incline doesn't really matter for the amount of steps you get and the amount of cardio you do, so just walk on the beach. That can make me more consistent with it. Another thing is, do a sport that's fun. Maybe one reason that it's a barrier to cardio is because you hate cardio. You hate incline walking, so pick a form of cardio that's fucking fun. Oh, it's high intensity, so you'll get more hunger signal in you, but if you're fun, if it's fun, you'll do cardio. If it's not, you won't do any, so pick which one you want. Deal with the hunger or be fat, I don't know. It's kind of up to you. You know? Things like that. Identify them. Where your constraints are within your hypertrophy journey: sleep, diet, consistency in the gym, exercise selection, skipping exercises, understanding why you're doing that, what barriers are there in front of you that's stopping you doing that, removing them barriers, make it easy on yourself, reduce friction, and you'll be so much more consistent with it. That is the biggest thing that I learned, and that's why me as a teenager, incline pressing with pillows on my floor was a fucking genius. Even though no one wants to know, no one wants to accept it, he was a fucking genius. Yeah. There's my 2 cents today. I'm going to go eat this, let myself digest. Then I go hit a push day. Yeah, buddy. It's a push day. Lightweight. Can't fucking wait, bro. Can't wait. So yeah. Hopefully I feel full from this meal after eating with a fucking teaspoon. Teaspoon, tablespoon? Teaspoon, because you put it in a cup of tea. Yeah. Lock in, get jacked. See you later, Pookies.